So in the second day of our study skills breakdown, we're going to be looking at bibliographies, citations, and just general research. The first part is about making sure that you give credit where credit is due. And that's really what bibliographies are all about. So you want to make sure, right, if you wrote a book, well, you want to make sure that you get credit for the content of that book, right? So if you were to write a book and it became a massive bestseller, got turned into a movie with, major stars, made multiple millions in Hollywood, you would want to make sure that you got a piece of that box office dollar because it's coming out of your work. This is a more extreme example, but the bottom line is the person who does the work should get the credit for that work. And that's what bibliographies are all about. So when you are doing your research, you need to credit your sources. Failing to do it is considered theft. It's a form of theft called plagiarism that is punishable by law. In academic circles, it's guaranteed expulsion and probable blacklisting from whatever institution you're at or other institutions that they're in communication with. This is not a road that you want to start going down. And it can happen by accident if people don't completely understand what plagiarism is. So that's going to be the first topic. Plagiarism is claiming really someone else's thoughts as your own. So it's not as simple as just taking their words. So if you take words that somebody else wrote, put them through some website that finds synonyms, right, like Grammarly, which its goal is not to promote plagiarism. I am not saying they're responsible for this. You read their terms and conditions, they explicitly say don't do this, but some of their users do it. If you just take that and swap out some synonyms, you haven't changed the order or structure of the thoughts. So even though you create a document which isn't a 100% match, it may not be easy to trace back to a source, that doesn't make it your own. So this process still counts as plagiarism and can lead to immediate expulsion. So what you want to do is make sure that when you've got a source, you cite it. If there's a long passage that perfectly fits what you say, quote it properly. So on your page, you include it indented in the middle, in quotes. You finish with a citation. You will always have to cite the source. So you could say, in such and such a work, the author says, and then quote it. Understand that if you've been given a target word count, the quote won't contribute to the word count. But this way you can quote someone directly if it expresses your point better than you could think of how to, and still move the essay forward. So you can take this and move your research project forward. But you do have to cite it. And that's where the bibliographies come in. So the question is, how do we cite them properly? What is the most effective way to do this, and where do we go? That is going to be the topic of part 2.